What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. I wanted to check in here for a few minutes, talk about the NBA playing games, the NBA playoffs, get a little preview going before we have all the matchups settled, and then my thoughts here with the Orioles facing the Guardians in a three-game series that all these series are critical, but this one feels important as the Orioles are 6-9, Guardians are 8-7. So I'll start there. What to expect from the Orioles tonight? What to expect from the Guardians? So we're going to face Logan Allen, the lefty. Orioles haven't faced the lefty in a handful of games. So what is going to be the lineup is probably the number one topic of conversation here in Birdland today. As Hyde ran out the same lineup Saturday and Sunday, so I give him credit. He didn't have Mullins and Mountcastle at the top like I suggested, but he did run the same exact lineup, same exact spots in the order Saturday and Sunday, and I think he got good results. Right, we were 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position on Sunday, but they still produced 6 runs, had the lead 6-3 going into the eighth. So the lineup showed some life. Now it's the lefty coming. So you can go from the catching position with Adley all the way to right field with Tyler O'Neill / Kerstead and Laureano. And what does Hyde want to do here with the lineup? What order? Do guys don't really need any rest? Does he use that as an opportunity to get some guys some at-bats against lefties that typically wouldn't? I mean, really, you can go through every guy on the roster and figure out whether or not he's going to play tonight. It's kind of up in the air, except I would say Mountcastle's locked in at the first base spot and Westberg's locked in either second or third. Gunnar gets to play every day, so he'll be the shortstop. But then after that, it's like, yeah, Tyler O'Neill's locked in going against the lefty in the outfield. But then what's Hyde want to do? So he let Mateo play center field last week. That was a disaster. Is it one and done, or does Mateo get another start here for Mullins in center? Does Kerstad get the bat against a lefty? He's been hitting the ball well. Or does Laureano get the start instead? Does Jackson get the start? Yeah, he's over 17 in his last 17 at bats. Arias has good numbers. Mateo, as I just mentioned, wants to play. O'Hearn most likely is out. I feel like that's an easier decision going against the lefty and let Mountcastle just have that first base spot. And then Sanchez, Adley doesn't need the rest. Sanchez, I think, is 1 for 15, but it's an opportunity to let him, against a lefty. So I really don't know what Hyde's going to do, and I'm very curious. We'll find out in about 5 hours, but once he makes that decision, we just got to roll with it here and get some hits because this Guardians team is always good in the bullpen. Once you get to that sixth, seventh, eighth inning, you're running out of options there going against Cleveland. They've been solid in the bullpen. I love the way Cleveland has built their team over the past few years. Contact hitting, solid in the bullpen, don't make a ton of mistakes in the field, a good running team. So the Orioles have their work cut out for them. You got to blitz them early and get to the starter because they get to that sixth inning. They're a handful. They were struggling this year, and then they won. They swept Chicago. They swept the White Sox, and they just took 2 out of 3 from the Royals. They lost on Sunday. They were off yesterday. They head to Pittsburgh after this series, so they're embarking themselves on a road trip. And it's going to be a good matchup. They got Quan at the leadoff spot. He's been there forever, it feels like. Jose Ramirez, one of the best hitters in baseball, still there. They got the Noel kid who had big home runs against the Orioles last year in the regular season. I like him a lot. But yeah, the Guardians, they make their money with pitching, good defense, good base running, being smart. They're not going to hit a gazillion home runs. So we'll see. Orioles 6-9. We're going to send out Morton to the mound tonight, who's just not been sharp, would be an understatement. Orioles pretty big favorite, minus 155 to start. I bet you that goes down a little bit before game time. Morton gets the start tonight, Kramer tomorrow, and then Sagano to close out the series here on Thursday. Let's see. We're 6-9. Orioles got to get rolling here at some point. But, yeah, it feels like a lot of the narrative before the Royals series is the same narrative now because they just couldn't close the deal in Kansas City on that Sunday to finally win 2 in a row. So we're sitting here 7-8 sounds a lot better than 6-9. But we'll find out where the Orioles are at. I think the energy in that first couple innings is going to say a lot coming off the off day and a tough loss. See if the Orioles get going. Hyde was kicked out of the game, which I guess I didn't mind. I thought it was a little weird how happy so many Orioles fans seemed to be that Hyde was like emotional and got kicked out of the game. Like I don't know really if that's something to be excited about. That he's like sticking up for a guy. He's always sticking up for guys. It's just a matter of some umpires let you say a little bit more than others. And he was frustrated. Maybe he had plans. Maybe he wanted to watch the NBA on Sunday afternoon. I don't know exactly. But either way, I wasn't like jumping up and down like, oh, there goes my manager yelling. It would have been better if he would have, picked up the home plate manager and put him on the ground or did some theatrics. But it's just kind of a just got it, frustrated, kicked him out of the game. So whatever. We'll see how the Orioles play these next few games. I'll be happy to talk about it. And I'm not going to beat up Soto, even though I'm not high on Soto. Thought it's just a matter of time before he starts not pitching well. But his numbers were so good before that he, got to give him a pass on that one. All right, play-in tournament. If you're not familiar with the play-in tournament, it's the NBA's pathetic way of trying to mimic March Madness here, and it really is pathetic. It's stupid. The Hawks and Magic are playing tonight. The winner's the 7 seed, and they're going to play the Celtics. And somehow the loser is going to play the winner of the 9-10. It's just dumb. Especially in the West when the 9-10 seeds are so inferior to the 7-8 seeds. I just think it's stupid and kind of a cheap way for the NBA to add a game where it's like, yeah, after 82 games, whatever the tiebreakers are, that's what they are. I don't need the 9 and 10 seeds playing, but hey, that's what's going to happen. So tonight, Hawks Magic favored by 5. Magic have a hard time scoring, and the Hawks have a hard time playing defense. So clash of two bad teams where they do the opposite well. Trae Young is must-see TV if you love the NBA because Trae Young is just fascinating. He's passing the ball a lot more this year than he's been passing. So I always, my eyes will tend to wander over to Trae Young and see what I like to see how the guys around him are responding when one person's dribbling the ball a lot. That's always an interesting dynamic. The first pick in the draft, Ricochet, is on the Hawks. He's a really good player. I'd like the Hawks to cover the 5 points tonight if you made me bet on it, but I'll probably stay away from it. The Magic are like stuck in 1994, the way they play basketball. They don't have a ton of offensive prowess, and the winner of this game is going to lose to the Celtics in 4. I don't see either of these teams ever getting a game on the Celtics. Excuse me. So that's their prize. The loser will face the winner of the Bulls Heat tomorrow night, and then they get the Cavs. That's not going to be a fun matchup either way. On the West, much more interesting. Grizzlies are playing the Warriors. The winner gets the Rockets. Grizzlies and the Warriors both think they can beat the Rockets. So that'll be a good 7-2 matchup. They won't be scared of facing the Rockets. The Rockets don't have any playoff experience for the most part. I do think the Rockets are a nightmare of a team to play against for 7 games. They're really well coached. They have a ton of great defenders, but they're more attractive to play them than the Thunder or even the Lakers. So the game tonight's going to be super intense. The loser is going to face the winner of the Mavs-Kings game, which I don't know why they're playing. Both those teams have traded their best player. Kings traded their best player on purpose, De'Aaron Fox. The Mavericks traded their best player, I'm assuming, in a hostage situation, like that we just haven't found out about, that they had to trade Luka. Some foreign power demanded it. I'm not really sure, why they did that. One thing to trade him to the Hornets, but to the Lakers, as everybody's been talking about for months now, it's like, dude, not the Lakers, not with LeBron who's going to help them get in better shape, not in LA where everybody's in good shape. Oh boy. So I would think the Mavericks and the Kings are both not. I know they're trying to win the game, but I don't know how intense that game's going to be. And whoever wins that game then goes to Golden State or Memphis, and the winner of that faces the Thunder. Not a great scenario. So as the game tonight, Warriors Grizzlies, I'm going to go with the Grizzlies getting 7 points. I like that a lot. Wouldn't be shocked if they pull it off. The Grizzlies as an underdog are much more attractive to me than the favorite. When they're home and they're the favorite and Ja feels like he's putting on more of a show than just trying to win the game, I get a little nervous. But on the road against a Warriors team where Draymond has been really talking a lot of noise about the Grizzlies for the better part of the year, they have Zach Edey, the kid from Purdue, who I can't wait to watch him in a must-win situation, especially when the other team doesn't have a center the way the Warriors don't. And the Warriors blew it against the Clippers. They had the game. It goes to overtime. Draymond blows a layup, trying to get a foul instead of just making a layup. Curry has a bunch of turnovers. I mean, Curry's amazing. He's been amazing, but I don't know if the Grizzlies have enough guys to throw at him, and Jimmy Butler has just been very underwhelming as a scorer since he's gotten there. I don't know if the Warriors have enough gas here to beat the Grizzlies. I think the Warriors had a chance this year to make a run if they would have had the right matchup and had the rest. But now that they're going to have to face either the Rockets or the Thunder, I'm going to predict they lose that first round, no matter who they face. So can't wait to watch this game tonight. I love Steph Curry. I love, every time I'm coaching and trying to teach a kid to emulate, an NBA player. If it's always Steph Curry. It's always, Russell Westbrook, like not Kyrie Irving. I always say that, like, Kyrie Irving is that if you're working on your ball handling, you're in the driveway, you're a kid, and you're like watching YouTube videos on how to dribble the ball, amazing, then I can't help you as a kid. Then you're just never going to make it. Like, you need to snap out of that and learn how to move off the ball. Off the ball is how you play. Or like Westbrook, like, just you're in the best physical shape and you can always get to the rim like he was during his prime. But really, if you're trying to teach a kid how to play basketball, it has nothing to do with the shooting. It has to do with moving without the ball. It's why Luka and James Harden are just so many notches below. Even Westbrook doesn't move without the ball than Steph. Same thing with Kyrie. A lot of these elite point guards, ball handlers, Derrick Rose when he was at his prime, Jamal Murray for the Nuggets here. They just are not obsessed with constantly moving the way Steph is, and it's the single best skill set that he offers. His shooting, yeah, obviously it's amazing, sure, but it's the being that good of a shooter and then doing it off the ball, being in that good a shape to constantly move around. You'll watch if you watch a game tonight. The Warriors will get about 3 layups. Happens every single game where Curry's coming around for a pick, and the guy that's setting the pick on him, his defender will hedge a little bit because you can't let Curry just come off the three and catch it. And then whoever's setting the pick will just slip it. And it'll be wide open for a layup because both defenders will go to Steph Curry. So I love Steph. Can't wait to watch this game tonight. But the Grizzlies are going to play fired up. The Grizzlies, they don't want to face the Thunder. The Grizzlies think they're better than everybody else thinks they are. They have a really high opinion of themselves. Should be a good game. All right. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy all the Orioles stuff that goes along with the baseball game. If you're listening to the countless amounts of podcasts and pundits that talk about the Orioles, I don't really enjoy that. After the game, I'm more interested to get some of the recaps, especially the guys that have locker room access before the game, not as much. And then, yeah, the NBA. I'm going to do Maryland basketball here once Buzz finishes constructing the roster, and I can see exactly what his vision is and what the roster will look like for next year. The Ravens, I've just now convinced myself that, we're drafting a kicker. We just don't want all the other teams to know it. So that's why we haven't made the Justin Tucker decision, because I can't imagine they're going to do the wrong thing there with that situation. So speak that into existence. See you guys here in the next couple of days. Go O's tonight. The Nationals couldn't get it done for me yesterday. Still like the value, but yeah, Skeens was pretty darn good yesterday. So, all right, have a great day. Enjoy. If you're going to the game, enjoy it. And yeah, see you guys soon. Good luck.